Hi, good evening. So welcome back to HR and Business Leaders Worldwide with our topic for tonight. It's effective selling and marketing in the new normal. Of course, together with our guest, who is a motivational speaker, an international sales trainer, marketing consultant, and real estate investor. He has a passion in terms of sharing his more than 20 years of business experience to guide Filipinos overseas and foreign investors, entrepreneurs, and sales professionals worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to present him tonight. Of course, Mr. Eric Manalo. Hi, Eric.
Hi, Giselle. Hi, Ryan. It's a pleasure to be here, and to all our audience listening all over the world, a pleasant day to everyone.
Yes, thank you, Eric, for heeding to our invitation, and we're excited for this discussion. Take it away, Giselle.
Eric with us because Ryan, if you can remember, we've been wanting to guest Eric ever since even prior the lockdown. But we never had the opportunity. Probably we are also busy, but here we are. We are finally with Eric, and this time he's our first guest for the rebranded episode. Before we used to be HR leaders, but now we wanted to cater to the bigger chunk, which is business. That's why we are called now HR and Business Leaders Worldwide, which is very apt and timely given the changes or the shift of business in the new normal. So without further ado, I really love our topic for tonight, which is about effective selling and marketing in the new normal. So speaking of the new normal, Eric, for our audience to have better grasp of what is the difference of the marketing or the selling strategies in the new normal, could you walk us through in terms of the differences of the old normal way of selling and marketing with the new normal?
Thank you for that.
Are there any differences?
Yes, thank you for that, Giselle. Let me establish first the difference between sales and marketing for our audience. Of course, we know sales is the ability to promote your project in exchange for money, no, to close the transaction. Whereas marketing, the difference with marketing is that it's the ability to create opportunities, the ability to create opportunities to gather more business. So that is basically marketing and sales in a nutshell. And today, the transition today is so important that the new normal of sales and marketing is the ability to transition and transform your business model to your market. And this perfect timing to share with you that the ability is all about generating the clients through relationships. Are you doing a transactional relationship or a long-term relationship with your client? So that's the question. It's all about establishing the relationship. Even if we're now in the new normal, we may be digital, but the bottom line, the principle of relationship should be there. The personal touch, the care, so that you would sustain your business with your clients.
I really like your point there, Eric. You talk about building your relationship with your clients as one of the ways by which you can make a difference in the new normal. But could you give us some tips? You know, I know Eric, he's a multi-billion guy. When I say multi-billion guy, he's the guy to call for in terms of ensuring that your salespeople would produce, because he himself is a walking ambassador in terms of creating sales that's worth. Am I correct, Eric, to proclaim that?
Yes.
He had closed a lot of deals in his selling career prior to becoming a training or a sales training consultant. So going back to the question, Eric, what could be the tip that you can provide in terms of having that good relationship with your customers? How can you ensure that, especially now that we are in a digital world?
Yeah.
We don't get to talk in person, just like what we used to do before the lockdown.
Yes. So whether you're in digital or face-to-face, the principle behind the relationship building is the ability to communicate communicate with your customers, because the only difference between before and today is that before you can meet them face to face for coffee, right, your clients, but now you can still communicate with them through Viber, social media, and all of these digital marketing app tools. So the technology has changed, but the principle behind is the same. Is that taking care of your customers, the experience, because you never underestimate the market. They are still out there. They're ready to buy. But the question is, are you reaching out to them? Are you reaching out and building relationship? That's why, are you doing a transactional relationship, or are you doing a long-term business relationship with your clients? So this is the main essence of sales and marketing, is the ability to communicate with your clients so that you will survive in any crisis, because clients are really the source of cash flow.
Yeah, Eric, having said that, I'm quite curious because Filipinos as we are, we're fond of face-to-face and, shall I say, tactile communication or style of interacting with people. Now being in the new normal, wherein we cannot be really face-to-face, we cannot share as much because probably of the limitation of technology and the like. How do we manage to deliver the message well so that people will feel that you are really trying to build a good relationship with them?
Yes, of course. Number one is, of course, you have to prepare your brand. You have to position your brand to the market. I'm a firm believer of branding, because most companies were not able to communicate with their clients because they failed to transition to digital. When everybody's changing to digital, you have to go there. And then the problem is that the customers will feel that something's wrong with your company, but in fact, there's nothing. It's just that you failed to communicate your brand to the market. So it's so important. And because Filipino companies are so resilient, you see what's happening right now. Restaurants are down, but they were able they were so resilient. Now they're delivering food straight to your door. It's also the same in delivery. Before, you have a product that you want to, the malls are closed, and what's happening is you're buying clothes, everything now through online. So, and to do that, your customers must know and feel that you are still present in the market, that you are still out there. So I think that's one of the major challenges. That's why it's a must to change. It's not strategic. So as I was saying, it's important that you communicate your brand to the market always. You got to show a strong presence through digital. The market is still out there. They're still buying. All you need to do is to let them know that you still exist. And you can do this through continuous brand, position your brand to the market through digital.
I like what you said, Eric. Okay, speaking of brand positioning, what would be your tips, especially now that a lot of people are, shifting into the digital platform, but there are some who are shying away from it because they are not yet comfortable. I'm sure that you can relate to this. Being in real estate, there are still some traditional sellers who would hope to go non-digital, especially a certain generation probably would apply to this, to the one that I'm referring to. And then not only probably in real estate, but also in insurance, there are still some people who would hope for a more traditional way of selling. Now, how do you encourage them to go on digital? What do you normally tell them? Or how do you?
Normally, I tell them it's like this. 15 years ago, everybody was using the traditional cell phone push button. And nobody said that. Even me, I used BlackBerry before. I'm a BlackBerry user, but there's already an iPhone 5, but I wasn't using iPhone. Imagine, because I wasn't ready for that transition. But when I realized the value of using a smartphone, I started to transition to that. Now, going back to the pandemic, to the crisis, it just happens that the pandemic has accelerated the change. So if you're traditional, you got to change to the new normal, and that is making your business model go digital. Otherwise, you will be left behind. Or you got to do it differently. You got to do it strategic. Because why? Because the market has changed. And businesses should change to the market. Otherwise, if you don't adjust to the market change, you are going to be left behind. It's no difference from brands like Kodak or Nokia that were left behind, yeah, because they failed to connect to the market, to the demands of the market. Even the market now is already afraid of face-to-face meeting. So if they're afraid of face-to-face meeting and you're not willing to adjust to the platform, you will be definitely left behind. So this is a major lesson I share to business owners as well. You got to change. You have no choice. It's like a caterpillar. You have to evolve into a butterfly.
Mm. As they
And
say,
you need
whether
to
you like it or don't, you have to change to survive.
Yes. Yes.
right. You need to fly, not climb, right? You need to
Right.
spread your wings like a butterfly and not climb like a caterpillar. Now,
Correct.
speaking of change, I like what you said about change, that we have to really adopt if we wanted to thrive in the new normal. So let's have a sort of a demonstration so that our audience would understand what we really mean by the word change. Because change is a really nice value to adopt right now. But in terms of selling and marketing, for example, in selling, I am your client. Let's have a simulation. I'm your client for a real estate. Now, how do you make sure that you would be able to sell your product to me?
Yes. Thank you. The new normal of selling now is basically not the standard way of offering the project. You go to the payment terms, the location. I always ask my client, Mr. and Mrs. Client, this is my proposal. Can you tell me what are your plans? What are your future plans? What amount are you looking at for this investment? As you know, it is so important nowadays that having a property during a pandemic is the best decision that you can make, because during a pandemic, it's always best to have a property rather than having no property at all. So this is basically the first step is mindset. I always try to go to get to know the clients first. I never do a presentation during the first 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes of my talk, I try to get to know the client, what's in their mind, how are they feeling right now, how much are they willing to allocate for this type of product or investment. It's all about getting to know the clients first. This is how I the new normal of selling, because you don't know what's in the mindset of the market right now until you engage with them. And from there, you can create your value proposition project. Because if they don't see the value of what you're offering, whether it's real estate or any product, even for a 10 peso Shopee product, they won't buy from you and if they don't see the value of that product.
What would be your tip, Eric, for the salespeople and for the managers in order to be able to sell despite the hard times? What would be your other tip aside from harnessing their digital skills and at the same time trying to connect with their client?
Yes. Number one is, I always tell this to my mentees. Number one is vision. Having a vision, your personal vision, because we're all programmed that vision is only for the company. But actually, you also have a personal vision. How do you see yourself moving from this pandemic? How do you see yourself succeeding compared with your colleagues, with your competitors out there? How do you see you and your company and your project moving forward? So that it requires vision, and vision is the ability to see yourself even if there's a crisis, even if the situation seems hopeless. You got to visualize yourself. Where do you want to be? And then from there, you now become fearless. So from being fearful, you now become fearless, because
Right.
you cannot sell something that you're not passionate about. That's
Right.
the bottom line. You cannot sell anything if you don't believe. If you yourself are, oh, what's going to happen in the future? Should you go for a real estate property? Should you go for insurance? You got to, you yourself as a sales and marketing or entrepreneur, you got to have this extreme see, that's the challenging part of an entrepreneur. You got to maintain that high self-esteem, that confidence in yourself and your product and your company, so
Don't
that you can overcome any challenge. The the
your life
online
is certain.
the online yes
Your
yes the
life is
online is given. The platforms. Okay, hello, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
Okay, yeah. The online, the platform, the internet, the digital approach is just the second part. the first part of being an entrepreneur and sales professional is your passion, your vision, where you want to be. From there, you can create so many ways that you can connect to your market. Because again, if you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in the product that you're carrying, you won't go anywhere. And part of the process is adjusting to the demands of the market, to the needs of the new market.
Okay. What will be your tip for the business owners and other top managers, executives who are watching us right now in terms of how they thrive in the new normal?
Yes, thank you for that, Giselle. There are three elements that you have to watch out, or you have to monitor, or probably you have to develop. No? Number one is called leadership. Your leadership, your leadership as a CEO, as a business owner, you got to execute leadership so that you can influence your team. Could you just imagine if the CEO doesn't believe in the market? What would happen to your employees? Well, it will have an impact. Whatever the CEO or the business owner believes, it has an impact. So leadership is so important. Your executive presence, this is what I call it, your executive presence. And then number two is your systems. You kindly review all your systems. Is your system effective in the new normal? Is this something that your client is appreciating, or are they not appreciating, or are they even aware of it? So you got to double check your system. Is it adaptable to the new normal? Before, you used to sign a lot of forms. Maybe you can make it digital. Before you're doing interviews at your office, probably you can make it like this online. So there's so many ways that you have to identify those areas in your part of the systems that you have to improve in your organization so that you can adapt to the new normal. And don't worry if you don't need to do it like next day. It's a continuous process. It requires leadership and systems. And number three, the most important is your team. Is your team. As a business owner, you got to reinforce your vision, your passion with your team. Because if the team is not demotivated, or you cannot rally a team that is demoralized into battle, into war. You got to check their morale, that they're willing to go with you, they're going to stay with you, whatever happens. And this starts from what you believe with your leadership and the systems that you're going to do to bring back the customers and generate new accounts.
Eric, having said that, in your own experience, which is more difficult to achieve, especially in this time? Winning back a customer or introducing yourself to a new set of customers?
The most challenging part is keeping your customers. That's the most challenging part, because because your existing customers is already your business, and they will to find new clients is going to be challenging nowadays. And according to expert, this has been proven by the experts out there. It's kind of challenging to find new buyers. That's why you've got to take care of your buyers, and then from there, they would through word of mouth, they would refer more buyers to you, and let them know that you will survive. Then once you secure your existing clients, your customers, their trust is still there with your company, then you can proceed to the next level, meeting new clients. You got to take care of the core clients first.
All right.
That's
Thank you
great.
so much, Eric. We've learned so much from you today. It's a 20-minute, I believe it's just 20 minutes, but it's so full. It's full packed. Thank you, Eric. How can they reach you? Would you like to leave a contact number?
Yes, they can reach me at my website, www.ericmanalo.com. All my articles are free. You can read it. And then my mobile number is 0917-871-5302 for any inquiries, for training and coaching as well. Thank you so much, Ryan and Giselle, for this opportunity to invite me in this session.
Yes.
Thank you, Eric. And